Hello, my name is James D. Lee, and most of the time when I talk, it's been mostly about Warner Brothers, Disney as an investor. Okay, but what I'm going to talk about right now is not that. What I'm going to talk about right now is what I saw in the debate and what the news media has been saying and everything like that. So, just to give you a little background, I have 12 years' experience with dementia, Alzheimer's. My mother died from the disease. Okay. What dementia does, it is a neurological disease that ravages the brain. Your brain has what's known as neurons. The neurons have little hairs that feed electronic pulses between the neurons. This is how you think, this is how your body moves, this is how your memories work, everything. Dementia, which Alzheimer's is a type of, eats those hairs. When it does, it starts to destroy the brain. As this goes on, the first thing that will start happening is short term memory loss, confusion, stoppage of being able to speak for a minute to cognitively think. On top of that, your facial expressions, your emotions change. Now, we saw all of this during the debate with Joe Biden. We saw all of it. Not only did we see this, we saw it in what's known as stage two, where he is completely cognitive, having problems. Now, you may say, well, if you look at him when he had his rallies this afternoon, he was sharp. Well, dementia doesn't work that way. Dementia, when you take the drugs that they're probably taking him on, which I'm not going to mention, a dementia patient will be crisp and sharp early in the mornings to mid afternoons. But as the afternoon grows on, they become more deceptive of the drug and they start having problems. If you notice that Joe Biden and Donald Trump's debate was held at night, 9 p.m. local time, which is late for a dementia patient. This is when dementia really affects the brain, which that's what we saw. Now, CNN, MSNBC, or anything like that, if you want to call me out on it, go ask an expert. Get an expert to back what I'm saying. This is actual truth. Okay? Joe Biden has stage two. In my viewpoint, he has stage two dementia. Stage two. Not one, but two. What does that mean? That means everybody in the White House knew about this disease. They saw this disease and they have hid it very well, or tried to. That means also MSNBC Morning Joe, you lied to the American people because you said you just saw him a few months ago and he was crisp and sharp. That's a lie. Stage two dementia does not come on unless in 3 or 4 weeks. It takes multiple months. You blatantly lied to the American people. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, most likely you both saw it and you did nothing about it. This is detrimental because this is what's going to happen. Number one, this disease, there is no cure. It gets worse as we go on. He's at stage two. When he goes to stage three, it's going to get a whole lot worse. Okay? I mean, I'm not saying vote for Donald Trump. I'm saying Joe Biden has dementia. It's there. You can see it. Okay? I don't give a shit about Donald Trump. Okay? But this needs to be taken care of because not only do I see it, but people around the world are seeing this. Why do you think India just told Europe to go fuck themselves? They're not taking sides on the Ukrainian war. They're buying oil from Russia. Why shouldn't they? They don't give a shit about the United States and China. They have their own problems. The United States has lost all credibility with the world leaders. When the investigators were in Congress and they said Joe Biden would be seen in trial as a feeble old man, that was red flag number one. Right then, there should have been tests, there should have been done. And that also calls out the president's doctor. You know he's got this disease. You have seen it firsthand, and you have lied to the American people. Okay, I have medical training from Sam Houston down in Austin. Okay, I took an oath to defend the Constitution, not support brain dead idiots on both the parties. You have news medias like CNN, MSNBC, ABC, and Fox News that have covered this crap up and they should be held accountable. Plus, everybody in the White House should be held accountable. This is a mess. There is a thing in the 25th Amendment that calls for this. We can fix this. Who gives a shit if Kamala Harris gets moved to be the first female black president? Okay, whatever. But you have to do something about Joe Biden. Okay? And as for the Democratic National Convention, in Chicago, there's going to be an uproar like you've never seen before. You've got one choice. You can keep him on the ballot, but you can come out and say, yes, he's on the ballot, but we have a third alternative. Okay? I don't support any candidate right now because I haven't made up my mind. But right now, Robert Kennedy Jr. is the only hope the Democratic Party has. The only hope the Democratic Party has to take on Trump. You have nobody else that can take Trump on. Nobody. If you want to win, you better go get RFK Jr. because he's going to get worse. Joe Biden will get worse as the months go on. Joe Biden right now is going through what's known as denial. It happens. It takes about 2 years to get it out of your system. I had the same thing with my mother. Okay, I had the same thing. But this is not family matter. This is now a world matter. We have a world leader who is mentally ill. And just so you know, once you are diagnosed with dementia, they go back 12 months. Everything, legal documents that is signed by Joe Biden for the past 12 months will be null and void. That means all Ukrainian aid that has not been paid out, gone. All student loans that were paid off, that were not sent out money-wise and stuff like that, stopped. Everything he signed, all of his executive orders will be null and void. If you do not act now to get this taken care of, how much more is going to be null and void? Because it's going to come up. Every bill he signs that's going to go to Congress and the Supreme Court, they're going to ask, is he of sound mind? Is he of sound mind? And with the videos that we've seen, he's not. You have to make the decision now. You cannot wait. If you don't, you're going to see the biggest landslide victory of an opponent that has ever happened in history. It's going to be worse than Reagan-Mondale. Trump will take all 50 states. And then what are you going to do? This is a serious, serious problem that needs to be addressed. And this bullshit that's been playing around by politics, just like Nancy Pelosi. No, it's Donald Trump. No, that needs to stop. You need to put the people of the United States first before your personal gains. I took an oath in 1988 to uphold the Constitution, to defend the Constitution, not support your asses. We need to fix this mess. Joe Biden is ill. It is there. If you do not believe me, get with the Dementia Association of America, get their experts on and talk to them. They will back up everything I have just said. Everything. Because in stage 3, he's going to get really bad. In stage 3 of dementia, he's going to get really, really bad to where he's going to wander off. He's going to freak out because he's not going to know where he is. He's not going to be able to remember people. And he's going to do something really nuts. And in stage 4, he shuts down. You see, dementia affects every part of the brain. It moves from your long-term memory to your short-term memory to your organal body functions. And when it gets to stage 4, everything starts shutting down. I've seen this firsthand. I saw it with my mother. It is grueling. It is a nightmare for any family. And I pray to God that nobody ever gets this disease. But the fact is, Joe Biden has this disease. It is there plain to see by the American people. And the American people need to stand up and say, we see it, we know it's there, and we have to vote, or we have to use the amendments to remove him and put Harris in. I know everybody's mad about Harris. Nobody likes her, but she's the only option you got right now. And it's better to have somebody with a sound mind in that office than somebody who's just rubber stamping stuff that doesn't understand what's going on. And the other thing is, by law, unless he drops out, you cannot replace him on the ballots. Okay? It's done. The only thing you can do is support a secondary candidate. And for the Democrats, that's going to have to be RFK Jr. That's it. I mean, that's the only thing, that's the only options you got. What are you going to do? Okay, usually I'm on here talking business. I'm talking about Warner Brothers, Disney, Marvel, because I'm one of their investors. But I'm also a member of the Lee family. If you don't know who my family is, I'll explain it to you. There are 3 members of my family: Richard Henry Lee, Francis Lightfoot Lee, and Henry Lee III. They are founding fathers. Richard Henry Lee is the man that walked in on July 2nd, 1776, and did the motion to form the United States. His document, the Lee Proclamation, was ratified. That is the actual document that formed the United States, not the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence is the letter that was sent to the King of England. Richard Henry Lee is the founding father of this country. His brother, Francis Lightfoot Lee, stood beside him. Their signatures are on the Declaration of Independence. Henry Lee III also got involved, and the 3 of them helped with the Constitution that we still hold today. That's my family. Okay? Yes, Christopher Lee, the British actor, is part of that family, but this is direct line. I am the descendant of Edmund Jennings Lee, which is Henry Lee III's brother. And as one who is a member of the family of the constitutional founders, I'm telling you right now that the government must act. And for the news media to have hid this for so long should be accountable. Do not trust anybody on the Democratic Party in office or in the media, especially the news media. They've covered this up for months. They've known it, they've hid it, and now it's all out in the open. This is wrong, and this must be dealt with. Congress, you have to act. America, when it comes to voting, you've got to pick better. You've got to think. Because right now, the world stage is watching us, and we are brain dead idiots. They don't care. They do not care about us. Hamas doesn't give a shit. They don't trust us. They don't see us as a threat. They don't see us as a powerhouse. Because why? They see us as being led by an Alzheimer's, dementia-ridden old man. Now, I'm not endorsing anybody, but I'm telling you this. I will not stand with Joe Biden. I will not support Joe Biden in any shape, way, or form. He has this disease. It is going to destroy his brain. There is no cure. And we Americans have to act. Congress, you have to act. Jill Biden, if you love your husband, you better act. Get him what he needs, and that is medical attention 24 hours a day. You cannot ignore this any longer. And as I said, I'm usually talking about Hollywood and their stupidity, but this is a whole lot worse because this affects every person in the United States. Every person in the United States right now. They talked about an election being the most important one. This is the most important one, especially if I'm having to come out and talk about it. Make the right choice. Do what needs to be done. The 25th Amendment is there. It's time to use it. In my lifetime, I never wanted to see it used. But now we have to. We have no choice. You cannot have a man who is not mentally capable or mentally sound leading this country. Because who knows if he does something where he loses it totally, his memories get confused, and he puts us into a nuclear war. Then what are you going to do? Yes, I understand a lot of people don't like Trump. But like I said, there's always a third option. And he's sitting in the wings right now. Put him on the debate stage. Let's see what he can do against Trump. It wouldn't be any worse than what Joe Biden did. And Robert Kennedy Jr. is a lot younger than both of them. We got to do something, folks. Because if we don't, this country's fucked. Again, my name is James D. Lee, and I thank you for your time.